What's most important that we've been practicing for a long time now is that to recognize that we actually have the capacity to be mindful, and to bring about peace into our daily lives. Without meditation, we wouldn't know how to take a step back, to evaluate, like some of you have shared, to be mindful of our speech, actions, and our thoughts, and to see what's serving and what is making a bad impact on others. And by noticing that in itself, we know that we can choose how to respond. And that to me is the most precious gift of the practice, is that you can make life the way you want it to be. Deep down, not from the ego, but deep down from your heart. The reason that you decide to bring the practice out of the meditation cushion shows that you have wisdom, you have insights, that you know how to return to yourself, that you're aware of the Dharma. And that is something to be proud of, that you've made your mark. You've gotten somewhere, that you see the positive changes and the impact you have with your relationships and the things that you deal with on a daily basis. So coming back onto the meditation cushion every day is to just recenter yourself and simply to reset. Because you know that's where you get charged up with the mindful energy. Without the mindful energy, it's what we call a very dispersed energy. So meditation is about bringing about a presence of mind. And that's about all, in fact. To go deeper and deeper into yourself, to build up your self-awareness, and to understand the workings of the ego or our habitual patterns. So you may also have noticed that there is a space between you and all that's happening. And that's why you're able to take a step back. And what do you actually put in between the space? A lot of things. Loving kindness, understanding, compassion, the insight of interbeing. That's what we call the Dharma in action. And it is a remarkable thing that all of you have been doing. I'm very proud of you. I'm really proud of you. I was just sharing with some of you recently that whatever you have achieved thus far, some people take 30 years and they're not there. It's not that I'm a wise teacher. I've just encountered a lot of hardships in my practice and in my search, and practice the wrong practices enough to find out what works. If you're in Singapore and you go to Sims Avenue, there's a coffee shop called Kuan Yin Vegetarian. But if you don't understand Mandarin, don't bother going. If you understand Mandarin, you go there. A bunch of old uncles, even some of them have ordained in their 60s or their 70s. They have sat there for decades discussing and debating on the Dharma without actually putting anything into practice. You ask them anything in regards to the Dharma, in any of the traditions, they can just fetch it from their minds. And they can tell you verse by verse and everything, but they won't be able to comprehend. And that's why I'm really proud of all of you. You're sharing and seeing your growth and transformation thus far. It's really wonderful. And I want you to really own it within yourself. Some of you have shared about healing, about reconciliation. But who is the one that wants to heal something within? Who's the one that needs to reconcile a certain event in your life? So you need to catch up with who you are today, of where you have come. It's really far. If you think back, before you got in touch with the practice and the teachings, doesn't have to come from me. Just think back, the day that you step out to learn meditation or to be spiritual, or in fact, even to be religious. Just comparing all the way to today, this moment, how much have you changed? How much has the world changed because you have changed? It is only when you get to meet yourself in the present moment, the brand new you, and really hold onto it. And that's where you can revisit the past. Some sufferings that you may be encountering, or some pain that could be still in there. So it doesn't matter if it belongs to the present or the past, but you need to know who's the one doing the work, the you today, not you, not the one who was suffering in the past. And also not the one who was caught in a moment of anger or sadness. And that's why you practice breathing and coming back to yourself, to think clearly, to clear your mind, to evaluate, and to teach yourself how to proceed. Am I right? So that's who you are. So for this meditation, let's come back and let's catch up. Just closing your eyes. And really rewarding yourself with 3 deep breaths. Smiling as you exhale. And dropping your awareness all the way down to your abdomen, feeling the rising and falling sensations around your abdomen. For your in-breath, allow it to be intentional and have a pause at the end of your in-breath. And then you allow the out-breath to fall out of your nostrils by itself without controlling, as though it's seeping out. In every out-breath, as the air seeps out of your nostril, it's as though all the stress and all the responsibilities are also seeping out, letting loose and softening your muscles. Allow each in-breath to refresh you. It is your reward for all your practice. And as the air sips out again, you smile through your gut, smiling to the world, smiling to yourself. You may even notice that every time you inhale, the air feels cool. And as you exhale, it does feel warmer. As though the breath is embracing you. And you incline towards your breathing the way you would towards a loved one. Showering in this embrace of the loving breath. The more you incline towards your breathing, the more it embraces you. If thoughts do appear, you can see your thoughts as bubbles that gently disappear every time it comes into your awareness. This loving breath pops the bubble of thoughts. This is your time, your space, and your rightful belonging. And within this space, you radiate forth the energy of loving kindness, of peace, compassion, and understanding. Shining deeply into your mind, your consciousness, and popping away all the non-essential thoughts. And welcoming the essential ones by breathing them into you. So seeing all the non-essential thoughts as bubbles and popping them as they appear. The wholesome ones, you breathe them into you. Breathing in the cool air and breathing out, sipping out the warm air, smiling. Allow yourself to fall deeper into your consciousness. And as a support, you can use any mantra that comes to mind. Reciting the mantra internally as you breathe. Allowing the mantra to guide you deeper into your consciousness. And whatever surfaces, just know that you are protected by this mantra, by this energy, this beautiful, compassionate breath. You become one with whatever comes up. And just breathe your compassion, your understanding, and your peace into it, without trying to change anything. Just understanding, kindness, peace, and compassion. Remember that you are different from whatever you see. So go into the depths of your consciousness with this wisdom. Just breathing with loving kindness compassion, and understanding. And if painful or undesirable situations pop up, just breathe into it, telling yourself that you have acknowledged it and you will do better with peace, understanding, and compassion. If mental formations were to arise, any feelings that may arise in the present moment, how are you going to breathe and to address it? And remember the awareness, the space within that we discussed about earlier. Is it still with you or have you lost it? Any unpleasant feelings that arise or thoughts, are they coming from mindfulness or are they coming from the ego? Simply recognizing everything as they are. See yourself sitting on a beautiful lotus, the lotus of Namo Sigato. A lotus that is capable of blooming in the storm, that is not affected by the waves. It rises above the oceans. And you sit on top of the lotus, recognizing this groundedness, this clarity. You can remain in stillness without following anything and also without rejecting anything. Just peace. And recognizing every movement as a reflection of the mind that is transient in nature. And let your mind be free. And let go of your body. If the body needs to sleep, let it sleep. If the mind wants to think, just let it be, completely releasing them. And also letting go of the need to meditate. Simply be aware of what is going on, without the need to change anything or to make anything happen. Accepting everything as they are. Just accepting, letting go, nothing to cling on to, nothing to change, nothing to resist. Pure awareness, without judgment. Awareness needs to be aware of something. Without anything to be aware of, there will not be any awareness. Yet you are not the things that you are aware of. So this is the mirror-like awareness. Just like the ideas of yourself. It appears only when you're there. And yet you know that every moment, everyone is different. Therefore, there is nothing to cling on to. Let the Heart Sutra become your awareness. Having become the Heart Sutra, now that you know what the Heart Sutra is about and what Kuan-Yin practice has been about, from this position, from this reformed awareness, you revisit the very first time you heard the Heart Sutra. The very first time you felt Kuan-Yin's presence. Float back to that memory and look at yourself. Send out your loving kindness energy, your care, your love, and your blessing to that moment. All the times when you prayed to Kuan-Yin or practice her Chintamani Sadhana, blessing them, bless them. And in truth, those moments in the past, receiving the guidance, the energy, the blessings of Kuan rejoice, and float back to the present moment. Breathed out the Heart Sutra to the entire cosmos, expanding. Everything that comes into your mirror-like awareness gets blessed and resolved. Each time you exhale, you expand your lungs and your chest. Getting in touch with your body, expanding your heart, your lungs, your chest as you breathe out. All that you've sent out to the universe, they fall down like petals of light onto your being, to your home, to your surroundings. Breathe and receive and smile. Thank yourself. Pay attention to the rest of the chant, the mantra. Dedicate your merits to your loved ones, to all beings. With your tongue on your palate, take one intentional in-breath. At the end of the in-breath, hold your breath, swallow your saliva, and then exhale out of your crown. And just breathe in from your nose and out of your mouth. Full breaths until your eyes open. Welcome to the next level of meditation, Vipassana. So it's not like the usual meditation we do, but because everyone was sharing about why you practice, talk about the awareness. That's why today was to see what the awareness really is about. And how just by sitting there and not doing anything, to see whether you can stay afloat or are you caught up in the waves of the mind. With eyes closed and no distractions, what goes on in the mind, what pops out. It is to see clearly and to introspect on oneself. So open up for sharing. For those of you who need to leave first, please share first. And also you can ask your questions. If not, you can type as well for the sake of time.
Hi, everyone. Actually, I had a difficulty going in the very beginning until in the middle, as there was a part you said that to completely, fully let go. But the out weird experience was that as I was letting go, I felt like I was falling into like an abyss. But then I was trying to catch myself to come back. It's like these two divergence of me trying to go in and me trying to come out. That in between, I saw something like a ripple. It was like a ripple or squiggly image of me trying to come in and out of the two forms. Um, and then I just couldn't go on anymore, and I got stuck there until you broadcast the chant. So I didn't know what that was all about, but I thought it was interesting to see the squiggly ripple effect in between as I'm struggling to go in, letting go, and then trying to catch myself from not letting go. I thought that was, if you can provide some insight to that, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Was there a resistance when you say to let go and it's kind of dropping to the abyss? Why are you not letting go fully?
I think my thoughts came in as I was peacefully actually kind of going into it, deep into it. A thought came in, is like, what are you doing? Get back out. So it's kind of like, yeah, it was a thought that trying to catch me back out of it. And therefore my awareness became like, oh, where am I? And that's where the squiggly formation starts coming in my vision.
So you mentioned that a thought caught you. And then what was prior to that? You said you were releasing, letting go, dropping. So what was dropping it? Was it a thought that was dropping it, or was it just you or your heart or your consciousness that was dropping it?
That's a tricky question, because it could be either one. It's like either my thought was telling me to go deeply, or my thoughts is telling me to get out of it. I think at that time I was trying to kind of relax myself to get into a very calm state and trying to transcend myself. And I usually find a lot of comfort when I get into that space. And then all of a sudden, a very quick thought came in and said, what are you doing? Get back out. And that's where that whole me, it's like trying to go into one dimension and the other dimension trying to come out. And that's where I see the in between. It was just like a squiggly image that I caught at that moment of in between.
So did it feel good when you were dropping?
Yes.
Yep. So that is the right way. So the thought that comes in, that was a distraction.
Ah, okay.
It comes from fear.
I see.
A very subtle kind of fear to hook you back. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
For me, so it was quite slow in the beginning for me to go deeper, and then so then you said like use whatever mudra you need to help you go in, and then I did start to go in. Then it came to I can't remember, maybe I think you said letting go, and then I felt so some things came up, but it wasn't anything particular. Like I like some random images came out, like some like a house or something like that, and then but it kind of came and went, and then so I let it go. Then so I went in, but then the next minute you said welcome back. So this is actually, I don't know. This is like the same thing that happens the past few weeks that, I either kind of knocked out or fell asleep and I came out at the end of it again. It's not exactly the same feeling. Um, so I'm sure one of the past ones I actually fell asleep, but this one is not falling asleep. But yeah, it I didn't come to the falling off feeling. The fear of falling didn't actually had to come in at that at all. But yeah, it felt quite quiet and silent. The process, I feel, yeah.
See you, Priya.
Good evening, everybody. For myself, when you tell us to just let it go, so I was really trying to relax my body to just really let go, and that's it. I mean, then when you say we can do what mudras or what to help us to go deeper, so automatically Om Hum came out, so I was just reciting it silently to myself and just kind of like really relax. I don't have much thought or anything, and I think I almost fall asleep until you tell us to come back. So I think basically for me, it's just that I don't have any weird sensation or whatever. It's just simply very relaxing for me to the extent that I really almost going to fall asleep. Right. Thank you, everybody.
Hello. I really enjoy this kind of meditation, which is a revelation for me because in the past I used to have a lot of fear towards anything that is Vipassana related because I've always felt like I was not ready enough in my meditation to attempt it because I'm the kind of person that is quite easily distracted and um, I can't sit still. So the idea of Vipassana has traditionally, I've always been like, oh, there's a certain kind of person that does Vipassana. I am not that person. But in the last year, I really enjoy this kind of practice. Number one, because it is simple. There are so few instructions. It's really literally just dive in and that's it, right? It's so easy to follow. I don't know. I feel like intellectually it takes a lot of weight off. I in the past when I attempted this kind of meditation, I would feel a lot of like anxiety and fear about what I was seeing or anything. But now when I do it, I just surrender to the nothingness that is there in that space, and it's very comfortable. So what I experience now is that, for example, in today's meditation, and for me, it makes a huge difference who is facilitating the meditation. So DK obviously is one of my favorites because he always, DK, you always put in, like, I like the way sometimes, you give useful little reminders just to help position a little bit better. Sometimes you can get a little bit carried away by the technique. So it's very important the facilitator guides people back on track as needed. And I love that you can sense that, for me at least. So I really like the way you guide this kind of meditation. What I felt today was that I felt myself as a very big, tall presence, which is nice. I like the feeling of being tall, and I felt healthy and positive, almost as though like nothing can scare me or faze me. It was a very, how do you describe that feeling? Free, yeah. It was a very freeing sensation, and it was just quite natural to fall into that. So I believe that doing this kind of technique will be good for the soul, for me at least. So yeah, looking forward. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, so today is after a long day of work, so I was a bit tired. So actually, the beginning part, I felt it was actually a very, very good chance to. I mean, I've always been practicing like samatha, and the vipassana kind of like comes naturally during like the personal meditation, but it's quite different when it's guided by someone, especially by someone. I mean, I kind of got used to enjoying my own presence and having that space for myself. But with someone is very, very different. And sometimes there's also like a bit of resistance, actually, like listening to the instructions and stuff, you know, like rather than going on your own pace or letting the thing unfold by itself. But also and also the timing is like, oh, you have to come at this time and you have to sit down at this time and report 8 o'clock after the work and everything. So I felt that the beginning part, it was a bit slow going, but I took it as a very, very good chance for myself to actually observe and, like what DK said, have the space between yourself and whatever that is happening. And so, like I think that was actually the very insightful at the beginning, where like especially I observed like the 5 hindrances coming up in different points, like especially like the biggest hindrance today was definitely the sleepiness, like tiredness and sloth. So at first I was like, oh, like observing, and then like let's see, like, okay, let it pass, like not clinging and stuff. But there was still resistance, definitely, you know, trying to fight not to sleep and stuff. Then after DK, like say, let go, you know, that was a point where like, okay, just let go. And I kind of suddenly like not feel my body, and then also like I did see the squiggly things too, but the squiggly things kind of was then like it was more like a vision is kind of thing that kind of like after I let go, then the thing like connected to me. Then I was like this embryo, embryo, and then I was sending like loving kindness to the world. So through the cord, so the spirit thing became like the cord, and it's like, you know, going to the world. And so like I just like, you know, like was feel like, oh, you know, I was in like the mother's womb, you know, and the world is the womb. Because I think the time DK was saying, remember about the time the Kuan Yin, you know, you first met Kuan Yin and everything. So like I felt like, oh, like surrounded by like the loving kindness and compassion, and like I also was sending to the world, but the world was the compassion, and I was around it, and I was like that embryo. And then like, so like then after that, I forgot what happened. Like I saw like the embryo blossom, and then I just saw a white flower. Don't know what flower, don't know, it's like lotus or rose, or it's just a flower, it's like light. And then like oh, my phone is dying. My phone is dying. Wait. Okay. Okay. Safe now. Yeah. So like and then like yeah, it all become light, and then after I remember DK saying come back. So yeah, that was like the end. But the beginning part, yeah, the insightful part was really looking at the 5 hindrances and stuff, and then later already finding the point where you just like let go, Yeah. So thank you, DK, for facilitating.
Jai, you mentioned the embryo, right? I think that was when I say recall the past experiences where before wanting, and then you said like you was receiving compassion from the world, right? Then I mean, but the awareness was the world, right? The
Yes.
compassionate awareness was the world. Correct.
Yes. Correct.
So does that mean the world is you at a point of time?
Yes. Like I was part of the world, like I was embryo, but like I was connecting the world, and the world was nurturing me, but then that was the world. So
Then who was blessing you in the past when you said that you received the blessing from Kuan Yin?
me, I guess.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Proud of you.
Thank you.
You guide next week's session.
Ayo.
We'll talk about that because I know you have a busy schedule. So, yep. Right.
Okay, I actually started off seeing all of you actually when my eyes were closed, and all of our arms were like interlocked together. So I guess it's that sense of togetherness. So I saw that for a while, and then my third eye became really active. And I could also feel like the blood moving through my face. Like, it's just, I've never had that before. So I could feel like, movement. I didn't really have trouble going into the meditation. It felt like I had slept for 3 hours or so. Because after a while, I couldn't hear what DK was really saying. Except for the part where he talked about, remember the first time when you saw Kuan Yin, I remember that part. And then everything else is a blur. But it was a very nice and peaceful and clear meditation. So I really enjoyed that. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, DK.
Thanks, Heather, for sharing. It's nice to see you back again. Yeah, I mean, one thing that you pointed out was very good, is that you kind of just automatically block out whatever I was saying, Yeah, so it's good because in a group session, I can't cater to everyone, but I try to cater as collectively as well. So like what you experienced, everyone interlocked, it means that you also got into this whole web of interbeing. And therefore, you automatically just filter out things that you do not need to hear, but then it will just capture what you need to hear. So very good, Anna. Yeah.
Hi everyone. Let's see. The session started really nicely. I didn't really have any thoughts. Even when DK was saying, if your thoughts come up, you can pop them as bubbles. And I was like, no thoughts, never mind, I'll just pop bubbles. That was fun. Let's see. I do remember the part about going back to where I first heard the music. And I was like, I remember being very stiff and like, trying to see what I could feel. So I remember that. Just before DK said you can let go, I actually went somewhere. I think I was about to fall asleep. And then I had this image in my mind. And it's quite disturbing. I hope I don't offend anyone. But first I saw a little Indian boy, a small boy, not somebody I know. And then I saw two girls, but the two girls are not alive. So they were kind of they were lying in the soil, and then one was older, the other one was a younger girl, and then later on I saw them buried, and then I just saw bones, and then I saw their spirits like water droplets floating up to Kuan Yin, and then she's like, I have them now. So then I was trying to figure out what that means, because it was quite disturbing, because up till that point everything was just nice and light. Even the mantra, like when he said mantra, because I was listening to something about Vishnu just now, so I was like, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and then there's just like so much light, and it was so beautiful. And then I just don't know where this image came from. Yeah, after that I kind of felt disturbed. Yeah, that's about it really.
You said they floated to Kuan Yin, right? Two girls, one boy. Or is it one girl, one boy?
Both were the girls, but when they floated, it was just like, it looked like drops of water, two separate drops of water floating to her. But it was those two, it was the two girls. They were sisters, one older, one younger.
And then the boy?
The boy is separate, but he was shown to me first. Apparently I will meet him or something like that, or I will get to know him, something like
You
that.
said buried alive.
The girls, I
No, you
don't.
said the boy was
No,
buried alive.
the boy. Sorry, initially when I said two girls hurried.
Oh,
I meant,
all right. Okay, got it. So it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not so much the question what visions come. You know, like if you saw, it's actually a rather positive one, because you saw two buried girls, but then they went to Kuan Yin. So that is positive in itself. Does that not make sense?
just usually, you know, in meditation, it's never something like this. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to take it. You know, because up to that point, it was all great. You know, like light.
No.
And I was like trying to analyze anything negative that needs to come up, and it was just like nothing. I was just floating in this light. There were no thoughts. You know. So yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter, because part of it. Oh, hold on. I mean, part of it is because of, you know, I think yesterday I shared a bit during the puja, that is the Hungry Ghost Festival. And the other part of it is perhaps is because of the meditation as well. Because like some of them have shared, like Mimi and Jai have shared, you know, like the what do you call? Like the blurry part, that we're transitioning into that. When transitioning into that, we are kind of transitioning beyond our regular consciousness. We're actually falling deeper. So something within can pop out.
But
you know?
what does it mean?
Nothing bad. I mean, a good thing is that you saw. I mean, in terms of mindfulness, when you see them going to Kuan Yin, that is actually a positive experience, right? To see like something buried and going there, and actually, it's not so much to question, right? Just and send merits. You know, you know what to do about it. Just sending merits, you know, Namo Sigato, and just happy, yeah, they went up, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Is that your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. Where's your window facing?
East.
The one on your left. It's not facing the sea. It's facing east.
No, it's facing the sea. But that is facing east.
Okay, so you can see the sea from there. Okay. I'll share more with you later. Don't worry, anyways. Yeah.
Okay, good.
No, there's nothing to worry about. So just remember the positive experiences.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
Don't
you.
worry. I'm serious though. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
I think everyone has shared, right? I believe. Any questions? All right. Oh, Jason, yeah.
Oh, I'm just wondering, like, just now when I was suddenly caught by the attention physically.
Sorry, can't really hear you.
Can you hear me now? All right. I'm saying, like, I'm just wondering because it's like just now I was caught suddenly the physical sensation, like my foot suddenly go numb and I suddenly felt it. So at that point, what should I continue doing? I keep thinking, but I can't wrap my head around it. Thank you.
When your leg went numb, is it?
It's like it suddenly caught me, it suddenly, when I was told, when you said let go, then it suddenly, this sensation suddenly catch me back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prior to me saying let go, how was your mind feeling at that point of time? Calm, quiet?
Yes, actually calm, quiet, and I start seeing a lot of colors, patterns. Then suddenly this let go. Then suddenly my foot suddenly just catch me back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you sitting cross-legged?
Yes.
Do your legs usually get numb?
Not as in only this 1-2 times, yes. Yesterday and today.
Okay. Okay, what happened was, do you usually move when your legs are numb? When there's discomfort or before they get numb, do you usually mindfully adjust your body, your posture?
No.
You don't at all. So your legs don't really get numb all the time?
No, it doesn't. Yeah. So it was quite sudden, especially like yesterday and today it happened. So I'm like, yeah.
Okay. Because what I'm trying to say is that sometimes when we are mindful, actually our body does make very subtle movements in meditation. That's why sometimes when we sit for like 1 or 2 hours, there could be no numbness because very subtly the body is adjusting itself. Very subtle that we cannot feel. That's why sometimes we can last those sessions. Those sessions can last. Well, so the reason I'm asking you what happened in your mind is because, like you said, you're meditating on the mind a lot. And then when I suddenly gave you the idea of not letting go of the body to relax, your awareness just shift back to your body, and that your body could actually have been numb before that, but you did not take awareness of that. Like just like sometimes in meditation, we don't even hear any noise sometimes. I mean, some people do feel that. Some people feel like they're not breathing. It's because we have 6 senses, right? And in actual fact, only one sense can be active at any point of time. So right now you're looking at me, right? You're talking. But actually you're shifting between seeing and hearing very quick. It's just flickering between these two. So in deep meditation, you actually focus on just one thing. And more, I mean, if it's not a guided meditation, then it's just on the mind itself. Yeah. So hope that answers your question. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm glad that today's session worked out well for everyone. I was really pushing, like told myself to push a bit more. It was great with the minimal guidance and that you all have shared, that you all managed to sit through. It's good that no one jumped out. It's okay if some of you shared that it took you longer than usual to get in. That is also because perhaps you came with the expectation that Wednesday sessions is a good session. Yeah, but anyways, we managed to get in. Anyway, everyone managed to get in, which is great. So transitioning deeper, when you say let go of body, let go of mind, like kind of just dropping. So like I shared earlier, some things can happen, some things change. It's just to review to us what is there. And in actual fact, because this is Vipassana practice today, I mean, all our practices have both Samatha and Vipassana, but today was just very focused on Vipassana, right? So Vipassana is to see what is the underlying thing below. So remember at the start of the session, I just said going deep, with whatever space, compassion, clarity, you just go in deep into whatever comes up, right? So for paramis, when that thing pop up, that quanting thing popped up, we know it's not about question, it's about putting our understanding, compassion, clarity, and if you shift into it, into that feeling, and that feeling is like it's disturbing, what is it? Is it an aversion? Is it a fear? Or is it a desire? It's really just getting to the root of it, what is popping out. And actually that is what we want to acknowledge in whatever phenomena pops up. So it could be fear, it could be whatever. You just breathe into it, because these are just our underlying defilements, that's there, right? So I think similar to Mimi, like this thing that pulls you back, like, oh, don't go there, fear, right? But that one contains a bit of doubt as well, right? So it's actually to, bring the earlier 20 minutes of a session, bring that energy into it, like breathe into it. What is this? That actually goes deeper. Because what happens when you're dropping deeper and deeper, right? So your consciousness, you just drop, right? You drop deeper and deeper and deeper. And there are what we call latent tendencies, mental knots. They are there. The mental knots are what we call sankharas as well, mental formations, and they're just not up there. Everyone is different. And then we will face some of them. They will surface. And sometimes they can play tricks with our minds as well. They can show us certain things. But most importantly is to get to that. Because whatever imagery it comes up is related to that subtle defilement, the mental formation. Mental formations are like different kinds of emotions, doubts, fears, greed, anger, these things, they popped up. So these are the things that we want in Buddhist psychology. That's what we want to deal with. These are the things that hinder us from jhana or samadhi, and also hinder us from enlightenment. So be mindful of that. Okay, see you, Ida. Okay. So sorry that I overran the time a bit, some of you. So just remember that this is what you're working on, right? So when you go down, it will just break by itself. And in actual fact, when you clear one of those subtle knots, the others become very easy. Yeah, because this is actually deeply seated, that it operates on our subconscious that we don't see sometimes, right? So the rest we really discuss. Any of you, if you have kids, to share with them the poking bubble, that's actually a children's meditation. That when they see an anger coming up, they will see themselves in a balloon and just breathe, and then the anger is the balloon, and then you poop, or they'll poke the thoughts, the angry thoughts, they'll poke it. Okay. So it's a fun way to teach children, and since some of you enjoyed it, so that's great. You're the inner child in you. And I think that's about all. Because it doesn't matter if something is psychic or not, whatever you encounter. Remember in Chintamani what we mentioned? What is your consciousness? The universe, right? So whatever we see, it's still part of that consciousness. And when you get more and more deeply in touch with it, how many will take mental notes of this, those in the Rishi class? Because I think I need to bring this out. With the importance of meditation and understanding, yeah. Because when you understand all these things, that's where a lot of things like exorcism, spirit cleansing, that's where it becomes very fast when you understand more and more. Because we are really just working on those knots to break free from those knots.